Hey, welcome back to this episode of the podcast that's about me, kind of called the Eve Ellenbogen podcast, or Eve Ellenbogen show. I never remember the name of my own show. I am in a small guest room in Kent, I think, in England. When we go to the beach up the street, we can see France, and it's nice. It is nice to be able to see France from the beach. I'm visiting a fan of the podcast, fan of me, my good friend Hannah. I have a show this week at Top Secret in London Comedy Club. It's called Funny Little Mouth, about me and my funny little mouth. And you should come. That's on Thursday at 6 p.m. And I will soon be at Velveeta Room in Austin on May 2nd, I believe. Yeah. 2 shows, 8 and 10 p.m. Today's episode is actually going to be a conversation I had with my friend James McCann, who I'll be touring with very soon. I'm opening for him. And this was recorded last summer, so summer of 2025, at his house in Austin, Texas. He now has moved back to Australia. We were talking in the podcast a bit about how he has 3 kids. Now he has 4 kids. I think at that time his wife was pregnant, but we weren't talking about it openly. So, a little bit has changed since that podcast. To give you a context, to give you the context for that episode, at the time I knew I wanted to start a podcast, but I was trying to revamp a podcast I used to have called Everyone's Doing Better Than Me, which was a podcast I started in Australia in 2020, right before COVID, it was about how I had so many successful friends and their success made me jealous. It was, a joke, but was it? And so the podcast idea was that I would tell them all the things that made me jealous about them, and then they would kind of tell me about their problems so that I would feel better, or they would tell me about what they liked about me. I mean, that kind of happened organically. I didn't request it, but did I? Anyway, I was going to kind of revive that podcast. And so when James and I were recording, it was with that format where I told him the things that I found admirable, in him, or that I aspire to, or what I, struggle with. And then he kind of later says a bunch of really nice things about me. So if I didn't put that in context, it would just kind of be like, why are these 2 people just kind of like flattering each other in this weird way? But that's why. And is there anything else I wanted to say? No, I think everything else kind of speaks for itself. If you do want to see James live, JDF McCann, MCCANN.com. All of his tickets are on there. I will be with him on tour starting in Toronto, going all the way through from Toronto through to Colorado, all of the Colorado shows. And I believe some of those Colorado shows are special. The taping is special, and I am supposed to be taping my stuff as well. So yeah, come and or check it out or whatever. Give him a follow. He's far more successful than me, so you shouldn't really have any trouble finding him. So thank you. Please like, subscribe, comment, share. It really does make a difference, not just for the algorithm, but like to my mental health. I need you so badly. So anyway, please enjoy this conversation with myself and James McCann. And if you're in any of the cities that we're in, please come watch us, or you can always buy merch from him on his website. And that's it. Thank you. I love you. Welcome to the podcast, James McCann.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
I'm so pumped. Comedian, writer, family man.
Yeah. I hope to one day open a sandwich shop.
A future sandwichery or
Sandwicheria?
So in Korea, my friend ran a sandwich shop and he called it a sandwichery. And you know what? It became insanely successful. So
I
that's
might
you.
steal that.
Yeah, you should do it. It was really good.
They're only doing that in Korea?
Well, his place was called Casablanca Sandwich.
Nice. Oh, of course, because to the Koreans, all Western stuff is the same.
Well, he was
So they go,
Moroccan. He's Moroccan.
Sandwich?
Sandwichy.
Sandwichy?
Sandwichy. Yeah.
Oh, pret again a sandwich. Pret again a sandwich. Pret again a sandwich.
Put it again. Sem.
You sound like when I use the text to MP3.
Yeah. When he takes it to Japanese, you mean?
Yeah, when I tell it to go like when I write James the forms McCann Tamaran Pren.
But the thing is, I actually when I do it, I sound racist, but I'm just being accurate.
I know, it's the only way.
But it's like you are just being accurate. Like I was there for so long. But anyway, we live in Austin, Texas.
The difference is using the correct words, you know?
What's that? What do you mean?
The difference between getting away with it and not is if you actually know the words in that language. You know,
That's
because
true.
if I do the very toced tones and I go, ching tong bing bong, then people go, fucking hell, Jimmy. But if I go, ni hao ganama, people go, he knows.
Arigatou gozaimasu. I have.
Ishitikimasu.
What was that?
Ishitikimasu. Doesn't that mean we're going to eat now?
Oh, maybe. Not in Korean. Korean is mashke deseo. Mashke deseo? Yeah.
Mashke deseo.
Yeah, it means have deliciousness, basically.
Have deliciousness.
Yeah, it's like a rough translation.
I believe you're not retitling this podcast Have Deliciousness.
I guess I could, but then I couldn't complain as much.
Be hanging out.
But yeah, we live in Austin, Texas. You are from Australia. We met in Australia.
We met in Australia and we didn't get along.
We got along.
You didn't like me.
I didn't dislike you. I just thought your political beliefs were stupid. And you know what? Now it's actually the most interesting. It's such an interesting friendship because I disagree with you on so many things, but also we're like super close friends, and you guys are like my family here in Austin.
Yeah.
Which is very.
If your family kept asking for money for nice things,
I've literally never asked for money. Have I asked you for money? Only one time that I didn't take you up on.
We talked about you babysitting, and I gave you a price, and you called me back and said, you got to up that.
Yeah, because you gave me a price that I was like, I have a feeling I'm going to be doing a lot more than...
I thought it was worth asking you for something that would disappoint you so you would feel comfortable saying what you actually needed rather than overballing it, because I know you would never say, Jimmy, that's too much.
No, I would never say that. But it was because I told you how much I make at my job. And then you were like, all right.
I had it like 20%.
Right, but this is the thing. My job is so easy. And I'm going to be taking care of
But you love me.
I do love you. And I also know that I don't want to not love you at the end of that week. You know what I mean?
I know that money is your love language.
It is. That's so true. Yeah, money is my love language, as is love. Love is my love language, too.
This podcast is going great. This is way better than the one I was in charge of.
No, the one that you were in charge of was kind of sad, but...
Go on, keep being in control.
Okay. All right. So I'll just tell you. So let's just jump right in. Because I think I'm going to tell you, this is something I realized. I listened back to some of the old podcasts. I'll tell you my biggest flaw.
Okay.
Is that I talked way too much about myself. Not like it's fine, the banter, but I just would steal the spotlight all the time.
I find that just in phone calls.
That's not true at all. Every time I call you, you run bits past me. I'm like, James, I'm literally dying.
Look at that. She remembers the 5% of the phone call that I get to be in charge of.
Please.
There have been times where I've called you with something huge and life-changing.
Yeah, like what?
So I can't even talk about some of them because they're things that have necessarily been kept secret.
Okay, but I didn't.
But like huge. I got, Eve, I'm fucked. It's over. There's this, and then within 75 seconds, we're doing. I had to take some shoes back because they weren't right, and the lady wasn't being nice to me.
That's just not
and
true.
They gave me a full refund because I checked that policy beforehand. It's breathtaking ease that you get the spotlight back.
I think that you are not appreciating how important that can be to me. To return shoes, to get a full refund, to get my way out in society.
There is something, you want to check that because you've gone to a screensaver. Right. Yeah, just check it still. There we go. Okay. I actually find your selfishness to be charming most of the time. Because a lot of the time I will go, oh, oh, fuck, what's going on? But then sometimes I will go, that's impressive.
My selfishness? Or
it reminds me of my father.
Wait a minute.
You really remind me of my father in that way, where I remember my dad. I'll just say one thing.
Okay, yeah.
He went back to Port Pirie.
Where in Australia?
No, not Port Pirie. I'm sorry, it was Whyalla. So he'd been. It's they call it the Iron Triangle, and it's a fairly hopeless place. And God bless all our
in Australia.
Yeah.
Okay.
In country South Australia.
Okay.
And it's the Iron Triangle that made a lot of iron there, a lot of cancer, a lot of smelting, and he had to go and teach there for a year, and that's where he met my mother.
Right.
And he went back to his house, his old house. He drove past the house as a student teacher, a young teacher,
right,
that he lived at. And he goes, I looked at the door, and I thought, what have I done since I last saw this door that I can be proud of? He made this whole thing. Right. He was telling the story. He went, I looked at that door, and I thought, in the 30 years that have, 30, 40 years, 40, whatever, what have I done? And I thought, I'm a good writer. And I'm there going, you got fucking kids. You got kids. You got this woman. You've done so many nice things for people charitably. You've helped start schools in Sudan. None of it means the most important thing you can tell the door is that you're a good writer. Dad.
That's so funny.
And that really, I thought
that's me.
There are like 4 people.
I'm not like that.
There are 4 people who are like that. Archetypal cholerics, which is one of the 4 medieval personality types.
Right, we talked about that.
I won't talk about all of them because some of them are wouldn't want to be talked about. Although as cholerics, I suspect they would.
Right.
But Amos Gill would be another one.
Yes.
Where
you can't compare me to Amos.
You and Amos, the phone calls are fucking striking.
But this is the thing. You are the same as us. It's just you have children.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No,
in some way you are. So it's like you've set up a life so that you need to be giving. But come on.
No, Judge, I have a totally different temperament.
By the way, can I just add?
I want to be. I'm not saying like I'm better than that. In many ways, I'm worse. And when we get to the jealousy part where I'm jealous of you, we'll get to it. Ooh. But I do not think I'd sit in that temperament at all. Here's an example. I just give you a quick example, then you can take over again.
No, I just want to add to the thing about your dad. And then I want to hear your thing that you're saying. Just that my dad also, I've been like, because people have said, like, having children is the best thing I've ever done with my life. And I said to him once, I was like, would you say that having me and my brother is, like, one of the best things you've ever done? He was like, well, I don't know. Yeah, like, because the thing is, I know he loves us, but to him, it's like,
But what a beautiful closeness that he didn't feel the need to lie.
Yeah, that's what a nice spin.
A lot of people would have lied.
What's the thing you were going to say?
Here's the difference between you and an Amos and my dad.
And what about you? But you have to include yourself in this, too.
No, I'm very different.
But I'm saying,
all of you.
Okay.
All of you.
Right.
Enjoy being attacked if the person attacking you is attacking you in such a way that it's clear they've paid close attention, that they love you enough to have really paid attention to the thing that you've done that's annoyed them.
I think you told me this before.
You go wild with laughter when I observe something
yes,
about
I'm doing
you
it right now.
that I'm upset about because it means I'm paying you the attention.
Yes.
I crumple like a bat, like honestly.
But you know what it is? It's because
I have none of that.
Because I find those parts of myself that you're naming that are annoying that I might not even notice it. But when you say that, I'm like, God, I'm so charming.
Yes.
I'm like,
it could be anything.
So it could be
almost anything, and you'll go. That's and I know that's.
You'll be like, stop gassing all these Jews, and I'm like, you notice?
I do gas a lot. I'm the number one. He noticed I'm the number one gasser down at the camp.
It's so cute that I gas people. It's ironic,
and I'm jealous of you for that. I know that we say that till the end.
Wait, but we'll say that for later.
Okay.
Yeah, you're jealous.
Well, may as well. I'm never going to remember that we talked about that. I think there's a real strength in that.
Yeah.
And an embracing of one's flaws.
Thanks, James.
Yeah.
All right.
And so that would be the choleric. People tell me I'm a sanguine.
A sanguine. Yeah, you guys tried to explain this to me one night, and I was.
We don't have to go into it, but.
Well, you remember that night?
I feel very hurt when anyone criticizes me, and then I forget about it within the hour.
When we first were friends, I think we had a lot of like me being like, I need to talk to you. Like I took stuff really personally. But I think now we kind of never really have those things, do we?
We will. But I've organized our relationship such that.
Oh, right. It's just, you've done all the work.
I thought about it.
Yeah, it's just you. That's true. Not me.
I love you enough to try and. I think we can organize our relationships with people to avoid conflict.
Well, also when things annoy me, they just don't.
I'm the only one who gets annoyed. You don't get annoyed with me very often. It's like twice.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like if I feel like getting annoyed, if I'm like, I don't know about that, I go, nah, he didn't mean it like that, or like he probably had to take a dump. Like he probably just did. Yeah. Okay. So let me tell you. So what am I? I'm gonna start off with the most. I'll start off with. I'm not gonna go for the low hanging fruit of like I'm jealous of your career, because it's not even so much that.
How did you start this podcast in Australia? Because I am very uncomfortable with having someone tell me.
Oh, Australians hate it, but they would squirm and then they would open up like a clam.
All right, let's see if I open up like a clam.
So I would say that the thing and I've said this to other people before, but I think that with you, it's more than anyone I know. You have the most unstoppable work ethic. It's not like an ethic like, oh, let me sit down and do this and that, because you probably don't think you do, but you just like cannot help but create work. Like right now, working on a script, you have a script that's come out that you're turning into a graphic novel. Someone else is doing
Wimble Dog, Peter Bedgood, doing an incredible job.
Amazing job.
Yeah.
You have a Patreon. You have a podcast.
Yeah.
You have a special that's coming out now.
Let's not forget the new book of poems, Disquieting Levels of Egg.
Exactly. Yes, new book of poems. So you're about to go on tour. Like,
yeah.
And it's like, and you have 3 children. And it's like, I don't even think I've covered everything. And so it's like, I just don't understand, like, because then it's like,
trying to get an album out again.
Yeah,
I had an album last year. That was a good one.
How you find it in you, because it's like I come home from work at a store and I'm like, oh, I'm so tired, and you're like, I'm with the kids at the indoor playground, 3 children.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm quickly writing my script. I'm like, what? Like, and you've been with them all day. And
I think it's a good one. I'm looking forward. At the end of this, I might read you some of it.
Yes,
I think
you
it's
could do that.
Yeah.
But I just find that incredible.
Well.
And it threatens my ego. I cannot do it.
I don't know what to say. I feel great guilt about not doing more, but it's nice to hear you say that. I think also I'm doing a lot of things badly. I think some of that is ADHD, or what people would call ADHD. I wish I could just have one thing and do it really well. But I'm a first draft type of N-word.
That's such a random...
I'm a real ass first draft N-word.
Wait, so what do you mean? Like you get the first draft out and you go with that?
I go, this is good.
Really? I write stuff. I mean, you can't imagine how many things I've written that I
don't say that I think it's good.
Right. But you go, this is something.
I go, I don't know how I can make that better. And I look at it again and again, and I find it really hard from the first inspiration to getting it out and going, something is there. Once a thing once a version of it is finished, I really struggle to go back and make any existential choices about what it should be.
Right. You're not a great editor.
Of other people's work, I think I'm actually a good editor.
Yeah, I think so.
I think I'm a better editor of other people's work than I am a maker of my work.
I think the same about myself. I think I've edited some, or I've helped you edit some stuff.
I trust you to look at my work.
Thanks.
And I can say that about almost nobody.
Yeah.
Because you'll tell me
the truth.
I don't know. I mean, I think the truth within art and editing is very nebulous and hard to address. Mm-hmm. Gosh, look at me opening up like a clam. But I'll show it to a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And a lot of them will say, that's great, or that's good, or I like that. But I'll always have like 3 or 4 niggling things where I go, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I think I can get away with that. And you'll just come out and go, you said the word Hispanics twice in 4 minutes. Why'd you do that? It doesn't, and you're like, what you did for the Hey America thing.
Did I say that?
Yeah, you were like, that's a Hispanic joke and that's a Hispanic joke. And they start to pile up and they do the same thing. And there's no point in that. And I'm like, fuck, I knew that. I actually did know that. Or like with the most recent one, which I've had to cut down to 23 minutes, you go, I've seen these first 5 minutes be a lot better. And after that, it really takes off. And I'm going, fuck, that is right. And I did know that. And I was hoping, like, really the only reason I'm showing it to people is so that they'll go, that thing you're worried about's not a problem. And you'll go, without me saying, do you think this is a problem? Do you think this is? You just volunteer all the dark things within my soul that I'm concerned about that have to be fixed.
But the other side of that is because
it's invaluable.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But it's because I think you're so good. Like, I love the new special so much. I just am like...
Black Israelite, out now.
Yeah, it's true.
It might not be out now. I don't know when we're coming
out soon. But I love it so much that I'm like, why start with this when this is fine? Yeah. But then you go in 5 minutes and this is great. Start there.
You're right. And I think... I forget what the original question was, but the honesty...
About the work ethic.
But it's not... Truth is, for some people that would be fun.
Right.
But the fact that I don't want to, that I know those things are a problem and I have selfish reasons for wanting them to, it's very hard with your own work to be honest with yourself because George Harrison, one of the Beatles, I forget which, but it was asked about like, what's your favorite song? And he's like, I don't really hear them the way you hear them.
Right.
Like I hear Yellow Submarine and I think about the breakfast I had that morning and the conversation I had with Ringo. And what was on the telly, and that I was arguing with so and so's wife or whatever. Yeah, and
that's Yoko Ono.
Could have been Linda at that point. I'm not sure, but it's to rip yourself away from what you were feeling while you were making the work, and how the work looks to other people.
Of course,
I find it impossible.
Well, you probably think like when you hear the joke that. About the first time you were at a Taco Bell. You went to Taco Bell in West Virginia. You probably remember the Taco Bell in West Virginia and the feelings around the conversation you had with the woman.
Yeah. And every time I feel guilty about the way I'm telling that joke because there's a lie in that joke.
Right.
And the lie is, and this will be out at some point so people can, if they don't know what I'm talking about, they can check it out. But maybe they won't, and that's fine.
But you should. It's great.
I say I drove around to the second window and she was there. And it's not true.
It was all one window?
No, like I went to the second window and they said, pull into the bay. And I pulled into the bay and then someone came out and brought the food and she had walked with them to come out with the food.
Wow. So
she had still come out and it wasn't her job to come out. But when I add that extra step, it slows down the punchline.
Yes, of course.
And it's effectively the same energy. Mm-hmm. Artistically, it's just easier to say she was at the second window rather than she walked out with the guy who was bringing the food.
Yeah.
And it just works slightly better. So, but that's what I'm thinking about every time. I'm like, I'm fucking lying to these people. It wasn't at the window; it was at the car.
Isn't that funny though? It's like the artistic liberty, but you're making that nobody really wants.
I feel comfortable with that as a liberty,
right? Because it's like nobody wants that. No one's like, "Excuse me, is that exactly how it happened, or is that an exaggeration? Is that for us because you think we can't handle the truth?" It's like, I'm doing this for you because you would prefer it. You don't even know you prefer it, but you would. But you
if
still,
I told you about it, you'd be happy that I made that change.
Totally, but you still feel bad.
There's no time.
But you still feel bad about lying.
Also, I was there with my dad.
Not your kids, not your family.
In the story, no one's there with me. Right. I don't bring that into it. But she comes out and goes, "You're like Australian. What the fuck? What?" And we have the conversation. She's like, "Oh yeah, for real. That's all right."
Yeah.
And she walks away, and I roll the window up and we drive away with the Taco Bell. And my dad goes, "Wow."
Your dad was probably so excited because he kept saying to me and Ruby, I love the Jewish people. I'm a fan.
He does love the Jewish people.
And I also heard him say to the first black person I was there with him, that I saw him meet, he was like, I'm a big fan of African Americans, or something like that. And he's just like...
Yeah, those are his big two.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've blown it out to a 5.
You've blown it out to a 5?
I love 5 races.
Oh, you told me what they are. I forgot.
Can you guess my 5 favorite races?
One is like Charmin.
I'm making it 6, and I'm including Aboriginal Australian.
Wow. I would not have thought that someone as unwoke as you.
Full-blooded Aboriginal Australian, important to specify, not the 132nd people.
Right,
not the people who have gone back and found something.
Right.
They'd be in my bottom 6.
Right. What's your top 6?
Top 6? Very Aboriginal Australian people.
Okay.
Who are the least politically correct people in the world.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Who are just like very knockabout, fun, exciting, strange, weird, interesting people. Jews, blacks, Polynesian women only.
Sounds fair. Yeah.
And Italians.
Right. You like to do the accent. Oh, why you no eat my pasta?
What do you mean? Come. I do the woman and the man.
Yeah. What's the man?
I can do. Well, there's a few. There's Australian Italian man, which is, what the fuck, bro? What do you? Yeah. It's slightly more Lebanese.
Yeah.
And I can do. My son, he come here and he tell me, Dada.
That's a good one.
Yeah. But I really like doing the woman. It was the segment I did for commercial radio that got me in the most trouble.
Say that again.
I used to work for commercial radio in Australia.
Oh yeah, I vaguely remember that.
Hit music radio station. I was working for Amos Gill at the radio station. He managed to get me in there, and I was not a good fit. And I would do sketches. I would do like a sketch every day. And one of them, they said, I would just come in and they would say what the big news story of the day was, and they'd call me Thespo because they thought I spoke in a theatrical. They thought I was like a thespian.
You do have a good voice. I'm
Oi, Thespo.
Yeah.
Write us a sketch about the Super Bowl.
Oi, Thespo.
They'd say, Oi, Thespo.
That's wild. Yeah.
Get in the booth.
Right.
Tony's in the booth, the sound guy. Do a sketch about the Super Bowl. Because the Super Bowl's on this morning and people want to talk about the Super Bowl. So I went in there and I did my Italian voice. And I was like, it'll be an interview with a Super Bowl expert.
What did you do it?
Like, yeah, there's one of the best bowl is the Super Bowl. I also like the pasta bowl and the gelato bowl.
They must have hated it.
They hated it. And then I would come in, the next day and the next day and the next day, and people going like, let's not have another Super Bowl moment.
So
I thought that was... I still, to this day, I had such a bad time with commercial radio. They didn't like any of my segments.
Yeah. I
had the not-so-secret sound, because the secret sound was a big segment. And you'd hear a little, you'd hear... shh. And people would call up and go like, I think it's a bag of chips being opened. Bag of crisps, whatever. And you go, yeah, you won $10,000. I did the not-so-secret sound, which is I would open like a bag of chips, and I'd go, what's the flavour? Call in. What's the flavour? And people calling in, chicken. They go, no. Original. No. Salt and vinegar. Yes. You've won nothing. And the way they hated me. The commercial radio people.
But it's so funny because when you describe it, I understand why your career had to really come here to take off. Because Australia, you were like punking Australia in its own culture because they take it so seriously. They take the flavor of the crisps so seriously.
But I was trying to take it seriously.
Right, no, you were. You're trying to piss on it. But I have another thing.
I like the salt and vinegar. I think it's an interesting topic. I don't know why.
I do love salt and vinegar.
People say Americans don't get irony. That's a big thing they say about it. But they get me.
It's true. But that's because you have like a fun accent.
Sad but true.
Okay, here's another thing I'm jealous of in you. Let me just make sure. This kind of overlaps with the first one, but you're a very passionate person. Yeah. Like, you'll call me and be like, Eve, it's all happening. It's coming together. I got this. I got that.
I haven't had a moment like that in some time. But
you had it like the other day. You just were too tired to remember.
I felt it earlier today, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll be like, the script's going well, and I got the tour. The tour's coming. The tour's coming together. It's coming together. You could come do any day. Come on, but not these days because I promised the other people. But a couple days, but you get so excited, and it's like I don't know anybody else who's so excited to be alive. Because also your life is hard. It's not like it's. I mean, it's not bad.
You know, no one's got cancer at the moment, and I try and
but you know what I mean.
Accentuate the positives.
You're tired. You got a lot of responsibilities. You guys came here. You were so broke when you came here. You were so broke that I don't know if you remember this. That you called me and I missed the call and I called you back like an hour later and you were like, okay, well, we figured it out, but I was going to ask you to loan me some money. And I was like, wow, you have the wrong person. It's not that I wouldn't have. It's that I was like,
you might have known somebody who could help. But
I have nothing. Like
the I won't say poverty, but because I think if you have a family and you say we were in poverty, it sounds like a dig at your family. That they didn't take care of you in your difficult time.
You mean like your wife and kids?
No, like extended family. Like, you know, I got a brother I can call and ask for money. I got a dad.
Right. Well, I don't think you're like digging at them. But my point is just.
But we were broke.
You were so broke.
And I would say we were doubly broke because yeah,
whatever.
It's I had asked everybody for money already, and they'd given it to me.
Yeah, so you owed people money.
I owed friends who didn't have money.
Yeah, I've been there. I owe money to friends who do have money now. That's different.
I got fired. Oh man,
from a call center, right?
I mean, I've been fired a lot, but this particular time that I was fired, I'll take the Zin out because I'm too emotional. I'm too drunk.
Yeah.
I got offered a job in America.
Yeah.
I got the visa. The visa wasn't attached to the job. So
right, you could do anything.
I could do anything within the realm of comedy.
Right, or performance or something. It was the O1 visa, right?
It was the O1 visa, and within comedy I could do anything.
Right.
We were in New Zealand because so we packed up our house in Australia. I have a storage facility to this day in Adelaide, and the wait. So you get approved for the visa, and then you have to go to a meeting,
right?
Where they meet with you, as most meetings
go.
But you have to go to a US consulate,
right?
And that was in like Melbourne or Sydney. They didn't have one in Adelaide, and it was like a 40-day wait. But we could get one in New Zealand in like 7 days because you can look it up online what the wait times are.
Right.
So it's like, all right, we've got to go to New Zealand because I thought I had to come to America like January 5 last year.
But you actually you came in December, right? The December before that?
But I thought I had to. I wanted to get here early and calibrate.
Right. Okay. End of 2022, beginning of 2023.
Fuck! It's last.
Sorry, 2024. No,
2024.
Yeah. Okay.
There was a conference on that I was going to be working at.
Right.
For this podcast that had hired me, and so we had to get over, and I had to get the visa. The visa got approved, and there wasn't enough time to go to Australia. So but then I could only get it on certain days in New Zealand. So we had to pack up the Australia house, and all these people, all our friends, all these people from church came, and they helped us pack up our house and put things in storage. And my wife was devastated because we were going to have a nice going away party, and then we couldn't. We just had to disappear onto a plane to New Zealand to do this meeting. So we're in Auckland, and by this point, I've had to quit my job because I didn't want to break the terms of the visa, and I couldn't do any labor. Holy fuck! I was a copywriter.
Yeah.
I was a low-level copywriter for a bird charity, and we were moving to Ohio, and Ohio borders Canada, or almost.
Right. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, maybe.
I can't picture it, so. But my plan was to not break the visa. I thought maybe I can keep this job working remote if I, like once a week, if I drive
to Canada,
8 hours to Canada, and I sit on my laptop and I do my work. And then I do a week's work in a day, and then I drive back, and then we've got the wage. Anyway, none of that. So we're in New Zealand. I'm sorry. I don't decompress about this very often, but it was very challenging.
Yeah.
I don't. Maybe I'm looking for an opportunity to get into this because I'm drunk. But while in New Zealand, we got the visas. we had a flight out of Auckland because we were going to visit my wife's family in the South Island, and I didn't have enough money to change the flight. And it was the morning. The next day we were flying out, and they didn't have time to mail it to me, so I had to drive out to this suburban home in Auckland where a Chinese woman was processing the United States visas. There was just a suburban home in Auckland where this Chinese woman was in charge of that. And all it is taking the passports and gluing the page on.
That's crazy.
And that's what she did. And there was like an old Chinese man walking around the front yard, and I said, I'm looking for a visa. And he was like, oh. And so I like walk into this little room in the back of this weird little suburban house, and she's like, here's your passports. And it's like, this means you can come to America and work. And I got back, and we were so poor, we were staying in, it was a hotel that you could only have 4 people in, and we have 3 kids. So I smuggled in
one of the
like
kids.
I sent my wife and the 2 kids in, and then I went in later with 1 kid, so they wouldn't be like, that's too many people going in at once. And it was terrible. I should have known because they said it was on K Road. It was vibrant, but it was near the embassy, and I thought that was important because you got 3 kids and a wife and no money and no rent a car. Now with money, you just go, oh, fucking rent a car, honey. We're fine. But I had no money. So you can't get in a taxi with young children without car seats. So we had to be walkable distance. So we were in a tiny single bedroom hotel room for 3 days, waiting to get the visas back. It's this whole rigmarole. We get the visas, and then the morning that we're flying out of Auckland, I get an email saying I've been fired.
From the podcast.
From the podcast. So I'm about
before
to go,
you started it.
And I was still getting 3 months rent in Steubenville, Ohio, and which is not a great place to otherwise make money. And I will say, while I was there, sweet Mark Barnes, who works for New Polity, who's a great magazine there, and I recommend everyone go and check out New Polity, especially if you're interested in Catholic post-liberal city building.
As most of the people who would listen to this podcast, I think. Maybe
now's a good opportunity. When I got there, he was like, can you write? You can write some articles. I'll pay you to write an article. Come on.
Wow.
And I sat in the fucking winter. I just couldn't do it. I was too stressed. In hindsight, maybe I could do it now if I had to work. But I remember, so I got fired, and my wife wasn't awake yet. But I'd woken up early for some reason and checked my phone, and I'd been fired. And I walked out into a neighborhood park, an inner city park, where hoons on Lime scooters were going too fast and doing U's.
Wait, were what on?
Like it was kids, dumb kids doing dumb shit on Lime scooters. I just looked into the sky, and I've got no money. I've borrowed from everyone I know already. I have no prospect of getting money. We've got flights to America. We've got rent there, so we sort of have to go and figure something out. And I looked into the sky, and we had like a small amount of money. We had $200 because I remember the night before I had bought us all in celebration of getting the visas, because I couldn't get all the kids down to a French restaurant nearby, but I bought takeaway beef bourguignon to remind me of home.
So cute.
And I didn't know you could get takeaway beef bourguignon, but I got it. And I texted every American I knew. We didn't know each other very well at that point, and I didn't think
I knew you a little bit.
I couldn't think of a way you could help me make money.
Right.
But I wrote to everybody I knew saying basically what had happened. I've been fired. I'm fucked. Can I do comedy for you? And I'll never forget it. It's the nicest thing anyone's ever done for me. Is Shane Gillis, who I had met in Australia. He was less successful. He was on his way up. Right. But he was playing like a 300, 400 seater, and now he'd have to play a fucking football stadium if he ever went back. But I'd opened for him there, and I said, I've been fired. We're coming to America. I'm going to Ohio. I don't know what the fuck to do. And he said, you'll be all right. You'll open for me. It's going to be okay.
Wow.
And now it took a long time for that to actually happen, because he's got a busy schedule, a lot of people. And I went to eventually I went to Ohio, and it was very weird. And we'd 6 days. I'd stayed with him for a week a year before.
Which is the first time you and I really hung out in New York.
And you said I stank, and I needed to get a new shirt because I was so poor at that point that I only had one shirt.
That's the editor in me. I'll tell you the truth. I told you.
I appreciate it. I actually think of that often as a nice thing. It's actually you and Shane are the only ones who
Whoever told you?
Tell me I stink.
But you don't anymore. You don't anymore.
I have more shirts now.
Yeah.
But it was the... People talk about like a rock bottom, like have faith. Like, and I didn't... It's not like I made a decision to persist. We were too poor to do anything else.
Yeah. You just had to get on the plane.
Well, I was going back to a room with 3 sad... I knew my wife was about to wake up, and I couldn't have her wake up and say, "Baby, I've been fired and I've got no plan."
Right.
I had to have her wake up and say, "I've been fired and Shane's going to take care of us in some way." And I was so sad because even then I didn't know Shane very well. I know now that he's a good man. He's a man of his word. But he's a man that I didn't know very well at the time, and I thought this could still go really fucking badly.
Yeah.
I think this is going really badly. And we were on a bus to the airport, and there was a family who had lived remotely. I'm sorry for talking for so long.
I was thinking, just thinking how much I love the story. Yeah, keep going.
There was a bus to the airport, and there was a family who lived remotely in New Zealand who had to fly into Auckland regularly because they had a sick daughter.
Yeah.
And their sick children were with them. This girl who had to come to the hospital for treatment. And we got to talking, and I told them what had happened to me that morning. And they comforted me.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a sick daughter that they have to come to Auckland to the hospital and then fly in, fly out. And it was a shuttle, I guess. Because it's not like a normal bus we talked about, but it was a shuttle. And this family with a sick daughter who have to come for treatment being nice to me and being like, "Oh, that's so hard. But you're going to find a way forward. Don't you worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to see some pictures of our farm?" Or whatever. And it was man, that was probably that was a very defining 24 hours in my... Everything else followed from that 24 hours. It could have gone any direction at that point.
Well, it's funny because what I was thinking about as you're talking is how, I guess the whole point, like the whole thing, the thing I think about with the podcast is just that it's like, it is really easy to compare yourself to your friends and to anybody. And then when you hear your fucking story, it's like, oh, so what are you saying? It's hard? You know what I mean? It's like, of course, like there's a whole story, and I've actually been through a lot of it with you in the U.S., which has been part of probably the best.
It's not like it stopped at that point.
No, I mean, I saw you guys, homeless people sleeping on your front step and just, moldy in your old apartment, your old house, moldy air conditioners, and just, we spent Christmas together. And
we got to Ohio. We were so poor. We went to there's a beautiful, I think it's called the Friendship Room or the Blue Door. Maybe they just have a blue door and they are friendly. But we had so little money, we got to smoking. We had a ciggy with this charity that was next to the church. And the point of the charity was to help local street prostitutes who were down on their luck, have some food. And we got to talking, and they got out of us what we'd been through. And we couldn't afford, like, vegetables and shit. And they gave us 2 bottles of wine and food for that evening, and we carried through this Rust Belt, beautiful Steubenville Rust Belt, birthplace of the Wu-Tang Clan. Carried like the food that we'd be able to feed our children. We didn't have a car. It was winter. I eventually got a car, and I couldn't get it registered because I didn't have the paperwork because I hadn't figured out any of the visa shit. We couldn't even go to the Taco Bell. I'm sorry, I won't go on and on, but it was a dark. I don't know. But I think that's... It's weird because all of those things are necessary for success, that attitude, but it's not sufficient. And I hear people, they come to Austin.
Yeah.
And for Kiltony, there's all these men like living in their car.
Yeah. And they think that in itself will breed success.
Necessary, but insufficient. It's like living in your car is not.
That doesn't make you funny.
Being willing to live in your car will give you more shots at getting where you need to go.
Right, but there's other work you need to do.
Poverty in and of itself does not help anybody do anything.
No. Yeah, I mean, I've been so broke, as you know. I called you a couple of days after my birthday. I turned 41, and I was like, James, my foot is not working.
I remember when the foot went.
I mean, the foot's back now. But
I remember you limping around the pool.
Oh, my God. And the mall. I remember went to the mall, and I was limping around the mall.
You never had a big fall, and I was really thankful because I didn't know if I could support you.
Well, and then after that, it got worse. So it was like a couple days after my 41st birthday, my foot went totally numb, stress or whatever. But I thought, like, tumor. I knew this was going to happen. And then my dad, a week later, ended up in the hospital, and they said he was going to die, and he didn't die.
Yeah.
And I was going to be in New York because we were supposed to have this 90th birthday party.
We're going to get a brain scan to see if you had MS.
Well, the day I called you because I needed an MRI, and I didn't have the money. But in New York, I have health care.
You wanted an MRI, as it turned out.
Well, no, I thought I needed an MRI. I ended up getting an MRI for free in New York. But yeah, I was like, James, they're like $500, and you were like, I'll fang you the money. Just tell me what it is. Yeah. Like,
do Americans say fang?
No, we don't say fang, but I knew. I mean, I'm very cultural, so I lived in Australia.
I appreciate that.
But just knowing that you were willing to pay for it made it feel a little bit better.
I'm a soft touch with. I've borrowed so much money from so many people. People have found my Venmo.
And are people sending you money?
People are requesting money. A guy wrote to me and was like, "Hey man, can you give me $50?" Guy I don't know. He's like, "Hey man, I think you're a great comic. Can you give me $50? I need some gas." I gave it to him.
No, you didn't.
I did. I thought it was cheeky. I said, "Don't tell anybody." And then he wrote back to me like a month later, being like, "Man, just need another $20. Just difficult." I couldn't do it that time.
No,
you got it once.
It wasn't for gas anyway.
Who the fuck knows? I like to think it was.
That's crazy.
I respect the hustle.
It's wild. I mean, what a guy. I should date him.
I love him.
Entrepreneur.
I love him, but he's not getting any more fucking money.
That guy's going, I've been living in my car trying to get in Kiltony. Why is it happening?
I have no idea where in the country he is or if he's ever seen. Maybe he just did that to 1,000 people. It's a good scam.
I can't believe you did it.
By the way, not as though I have heaps and heaps of money now.
I know you hate when people think you're doing well. He's Australian. He's never going to be doing well.
Aussies think I'm doing great because the Australian economy is so... do you know what a hash brown costs in Australian currency now?
What?
Guess.
$3. $5.
It's over 4.
Wait, I wanted to tell you my hospital story.
Sorry, please.
That's okay.
I apologize.
But it's not that funny now. That's all right. That's okay. It's all right. It's fine. It's fine.
When is it time for me to tell you what I'm jealous of?
In a minute.
All right.
Sorry that I'm speaking for literally a minute, and you're like, I'm bored of this part.
I didn't say that. I got drunk before the podcast. I apologize.
No, it's not that funny now. Just that I was in the hospital and my foot was totally numb, and my father was not doing well, and I was a nightmare to the entire staff because I got there and they weren't taking very good care of him at first, and so I called his doctor and I was like, because I was like, why is he supposed to be getting washed every day? I think it's because he couldn't get up. He was like attached to the wall with an oxygen tube, and so they had to like wipe him down in bed, and he was really sick, and they just hadn't been cleaning him. His sheets were disgusting. I'm not going to get into it, but just like imagine being in a hospital bed. Like they're supposed to like clean you.
It sounds awful.
Yeah.
It sounds awful.
And so so I called his doctor. I'm like, what do I do? And he was like, all right, ask to talk to the hospitalist, ask to talk to the charge nurse, boom, boom, boom. And so I just started complaining as much as possible until he got good care. But every day, I mean, I'm so equipped to complain.
Yeah.
It is I didn't realize like how, I'm so good at it. And so I would come in and I'd come in with my limp little foot. So I'd limp through the hospital, and it was far. You have to there's valet parking. I charge it to my dad's credit card every single time. There's $5 valet parking.
I don't resent you for it.
I said to him, Dad, I'm using your card to pay for the parking. And he was like, no problem. He could hardly breathe. The first thing he did when I got to the hospital, because I took over all of his finances for him, And he was like, give me my checkbook. And he wrote me $200 check. And I was like, this is huge. Fantastic.
Now he's looking through his transactions going, why am I on the Criterion collection?
He did ask me, he goes, what's this $200? I was like, you did it. You wrote it to me. But he didn't remember. It's kind of like a guy who tells you he loves you when he's drunk, you know. But I just would come in every day and limp into the hospital and demand better care. And then they took amazing care of him. But a couple of times when I was very stressed, I tripped and almost fell. And I was with my brother. And he was like, you must, because I told my brother, I think it's stress. I don't think I have a tumor. And
well, when you're very stressed and something like that happens,
oh, it's crazy.
You've judicious to associate it with the stress.
Yeah, well, I had
terrible gut pain recently.
Well, that's
I did
also
the Joe Rogan podcast.
No, that day.
Extreme diarrhea, and I thought, if this is going on after I do the Rogan podcast, because I thought I was fine.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're stressed and you don't even. It's just coming out in the body in different ways.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, I thought I fucking had cancer.
And then you were fine after.
And then after the podcast, it's like no. And then when the podcast came out 2 weeks later, I was like, I think I might have cancer again.
Well, do you know rock comedy in Australia?
Oh yeah.
So I made it to the state finals or whatever.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, in Melbourne, twice, but the first time meant way more to me.
Who beat you?
That was the year Danielle Walker won.
Rough one to beat, Danielle Walker.
Danielle and Michael Schaefer got through, but me.
Michael Schaefer got through?
Yeah, he's in the rock final. Jewish.
There's only room for one.
Only room for one Jew, and he's much more. But you know what? I look back.
He's more Jewish. I think if you was an equal standing.
No, he's much more like TV friendly Jew.
Oh yeah, so I was going to say in terms of abstract Jewishness.
Oh, I'm a Jew. He's not quite as Jewy as me.
Very Jewy.
But I watched my set.
He's a big fucking Jew.
But my Raw set is like one of the only like full sets I have on YouTube, which is kind of embarrassing because it's like from when I was still really new.
Potentially time to do more.
Yeah, I probably should put more up there. But it's so dirty. Like it's so dirty. I can't even imagine what they were thinking. But I got to the finals. But every round of that, every single one, I went to the bathroom with crazy diarrhea. Like 4 minutes before I went on stage.
Of course.
And I was like, I'm going to shit myself on stage. And then you never do. But how often have you thought like, this is the time it's going to happen?
That I'm going to die?
I'm going to shit myself on stage.
I never think I'm going to shit myself on stage. But when I did raw comedy, I did it, and I'd been doing comedy for 1 year. I did it the previous year. Adam Kiley got through on stage. You never forget who beats you in a comedy competition. Adam Kiley.
I don't think I know him.
You know, has a podcast about economics.
So funny.
You never forget who beats you in a comedy competition.
This isn't the guy that came here that you and I did his podcast, right? Okay.
No, that was Dan Illick.
Yes. Okay.
We met later.
Yeah.
I love Dan Illick.
Yeah, really nice guy.
That's a go-getter.
Yeah, he is a go-getter.
I work hard. Dan Illick works harder than anybody. Anyway,
yeah, but you work really. Anyway, yeah, go ahead.
I was 18, 19, and I was terrified, and I became really. I think I had a rash afterwards. I think I might have had glange or something. It was the lightest I've ever been as a full-grown person. I was down to like 82 kilograms.
Wow.
And my mum and my grandmother both came over with me. In hindsight, I should not have done that because that stressed me out
they
way
came over
more.
where with you?
To Melbourne.
Oh, okay.
Because I made the national final.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah.
Sorry, and I made the national final, and I was so scared that I thought all my jokes were that bad, and I wrote a different set.
No way.
As I was walking on stage, sitting backstage, I had my pen and my paper. And I can vaguely Cal Wilson walking around and going, "What the?" What? She was the host. Going,
yeah.
What's
You know that she died, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Wouldn't that be so sad if I told you on the podcast?
I don't think. I don't have. First of all, don't have a bad word to say about Cal Wilson.
So sweet, yeah.
We met a couple times after that.
Right, but you didn't really know her.
I don't think she liked me.
Oh right. yeah. I can see that.
I never had a problem with Cal Wilson.
Yeah.
But also, I know that I don't think any of those people like me in Australia. And Cal didn't like me, and I wish her I can't say I wish her the best. Poor woman, she's dead.
Do you know what? It was crazy. When she died, I went to her Instagram, and I realized she was following me and I wasn't following her back. That's so crazy.
You can't fang the follow on it then.
Well, I did. I followed her. I just followed her back. I was like, well.
I had a friend who died, and I had unfollowed. He had a girlfriend who was on the OnlyFans.
Yeah. So you were like, what did you do?
I was like, I don't want to see that
right
on my feed, and I could just block. But I just, you have a couple drinks, and you go, don't show me the girl that I don't want to look up your girlfriend's OnlyFans.
Right.
I'll just unfollow. That'll be easy. And he's dead, and you're looking at it going, what the fuck have I done?
All right, wait. Okay, so the last thing I'll say about you, and then you can tell me what you're jealous of with me.
Right, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to comment you.
You didn't comment. This has been really good.
All right.
And honestly, I really I knew, we've talked about the stories about what happened, and we were kind of in touch throughout that time because we weren't really good friends yet. But to hear you talk about it, it's like, of course, I would assume it was dramatic and difficult, but I didn't realize how painful it was. It sounds like it was pretty painful to go through.
I just spent maybe the darkest bit was after getting fired, because we didn't fly from New Zealand to America.
Right.
So we did eventually, but we were in Auckland for that meeting, and then we had 2 weeks in the South Island of New Zealand with my wife's family, knowing that I had been fired.
Right, and not knowing what you were going to do.
That I have a young family and a wife who's legally not allowed to work once we get there.
Right.
I wouldn't want to work anyway.
Right.
God bless her. Yeah. I wouldn't want her to work.
Well,
disgraceful. Woman in the workplace, evil stuff.
Yeah.
But we were staying with my wife's mum, and it's like the feeling of tremendous failure living with my mother. I'm living with my mother-in-law.
Right.
For
you feel like you're dragging your whole family to the U.S. to do nothing, to be poor, basically.
I go, oh, yeah, it'll work out.
Yeah.
I had nothing. I had no idea that it would work. I didn't have the money to get home. People had helped pack up my fucking house. I couldn't go back over there. And then the mother had lent me a car. We were in Dunedin, where they'd been from, and they'd moved to Greymouth, which is on the other side of the island. They lent me their car. Either I broke or the car the transmission stopped working.
No.
Yeah. While I was in possession of the car couldn't drive anymore.
Right.
So then I had to get on a bus to go. We had to go to Christchurch on a bus. I had the whole. We had
you had the whole family, didn't you?
Oh, we had at that point a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a almost 1-year-old. And it's just a baby and a 2-year-old kicking me on a 6-hour bus trip because it's all we could afford to get there, so that we could get over to Greymouth. And then, I stole a mailbox.
Oh yeah, you told me about the mailbox.
I'm trying to pay back the mailbox, but it's a lot. It was a very important mailbox to my wife and her family, and I owe someone 150 New Zealand dollars for a new mailbox that they've never had.
You'll do it. You'll pay him. I know it.
I reached out to my wife's cousin. He's like, "Don't sweat the small stuff, mate." And I was like, "No, I am worried about the mailbox.
No, I
Let
get that.
me pay for the mailbox."
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And then, okay, so we're in Greymouth, which is New Zealand is shaped like this. Greymouth is here, and I'm flying out of America there.
Right.
I had a flight to Christchurch from Greymouth, but the weather was bad and the flight got cancelled. It was my connecting flight to America, and I'm going out before my wife and kids at this point, so I can go to. Well, at this point, I've rerouted because I was going to be in St. Louis, and now I'm going. Well, I'll go to Austin for a week, and I'll try and get something off the ground there.
Right, and I think, did you come before? Did I see you when you were just there alone? No, you were here before me.
Yes, it was early January.
Right.
And
I was so upset that I was going to miss you, but then of course now we're.
But I was like, I have to fly out today for this flight, and my flight's in 4 hours. And Andrew, who's my stepfather-in-law, said, "I'll drive you," and he drove me the width of New Zealand. I feel weird sitting like this on the podcast, but I've run out of comfortable ways to sit. He'd. Like a human being. like a human being. He drove me the width of New Zealand.
Right.
And then halfway through the drive, I realized I'd fucked up the flight. And it was in a month. No. And I had to rebook the flight. And I had to pay like $1,000 to get the flight the next day, because it was the next flight. And he dropped me off. It was this huge rush. I started smoking again on that. I quit smoking. I started smoking again on that drive. And I got my legs all bit up by flies, because they have these flies. And so by the time I got to America and I was staying at Shane's house, I had these big fly bites that I'd been scratching on the flight. And then I bled all over his sheets when I got there. But and then I had to stay in the cheapest place I could before my flight the next morning. I stayed in a pod hotel.
In New Zealand?
It was called the Juicy Snooze, and that's my... when I got to America, I did Shane's podcast, and I spoke about they called it Juicy Snooze. But I stayed in this terrible pod hotel, and I remember, I didn't tell this story on that podcast, but I was so depressed and so alone. I'm away from my family. I'm going to America. I got nothing. I fucked up. And at that point, getting fired, you can go, that's someone else has done that to me. But getting your flight wrong, and getting someone to drive you across the country, you go, I'm fucking up now. I'm making big fuck ups. And so I was at the Juicy Snooze, this pod, it's like a little pod. It's like a YMCA, but with plastic doors.
Mm-hmm. So it's like Japan, they have that.
They have it in Japan, but this is a less nice New Zealand version. And I became... I don't know why I did it, but in the common area where there were all these hammocks and things and people making their food, I affected homosexuality because I thought I'm so alone, I can be anybody. Wow! And I started for like an hour. I was walking around like this, and I think it was a real mental breakdown. I was like, I'll be another... I like dissociated into, I'll become a different human being. Yeah. Who seems gay. And I'm like pressing the vending machine in a gay way. I don't know.
Were you talking to anybody? Were you like, they call me Gay James because I'm gay?
I think I, for a moment, had a split personality where I was gay.
Wow.
It was the most... It's when you're a young man and things are going wrong and you're traveling around, that's okay. To have a family that's depending on you, the pressure was too much, and I became... Maybe I just wanted to feel what it was like to be fancy-free.
Do you think that you have like a gay alter ego?
At no point in seeming gay was I attracted to men. I want to make this very clear. I was still very attracted to women. But
you just liked being kind of like effeminate.
Just to like carry my body like a different human being.
Yeah.
I could a couple of hours.
But that's kind of, I could see that in like almost like a meditative way, where it's like just to kind of try on a different life so that you kind of leave your because your problems were too heavy as you.
I couldn't handle it at that point.
And then the farthest thing from how you are is just like a gay man. That's so funny to me. And you're confessing to the priest. You're like, no, I was doing a character. I was doing a bit.
I was genuinely. I started to yes and
yourself
to get through it, but to break down my personality and refashion it as another person briefly.
Wow!
Thank God it was gay, because you can get away with that. If it had been black or Chinese, I think I would have been in real trouble at the Juicy Snooze.
Well, the other thing is that you couldn't do that now, because now you're not very anonymous.
In certain parts of the world.
We went to the HEB the other day. You got recognized twice in 10 minutes.
Yeah. And
then you very quickly said, I got a wife back home waiting. This is my friend Eve.
Well, it was men. It wasn't like I was trying to get away from a hot woman who was trying to take me to bed.
You mean those guys?
Always men.
Right, the guys who try to...
Yeah.
You were like, hey,
sorry,
brother.
Just the way you said it, I thought it would be like... And you tried to say, I've got a wife.
No, I mean that you were just like, she's not my wife. This is not my wife. Eve is my friend. My wife is much hotter. She's at home with my hot children. All right, last thing I'll tell you before you can then feel free to tell me. I would say, well, I guess I'm really more curious because you just have this like, you are an unstoppable person. You don't know that. Like you always feel like you've hit
I feel very stoppable.
Yeah, I know you feel that way, but like you just keep barreling on. And you say things that are like insane. You're like, Eve, we forge on. We go on, we move ahead. Like you, it's just like, it's like you're speaking to the soldiers on the field, but it's just like me and you on the phone. And then I go, anyway, I went to the cafe and I got a coffee. And you go, she's so selfish, but I love it about her. But, but like, I just don't know, where does it come from? Like, because you probably were like this before you were religious, right? Like, it's not about God, like your belief in God.
I think I was always... with the exception of about 6 months when I was 13, I was always dissatisfied with atheism.
Right.
I didn't know what was the right one, but I knew that there was something wrong with that.
But like, where does it come from? By the way, right now, the way that your hat is, you look so much like your dad. I can see it in your eyes. I never realized.
It probably comes from my parents.
Wait, the kind of move ahead, keep going, don't get stuck. Like, I don't know. It's like almost like I try to imagine someone like putting you in a box.
I feel honored that you would say that, but I feel, and I can see from the outside that I do things that other people would shirk at doing.
Look, we're all stoppable ultimately because we die, you know.
Yeah.
But it's like,
no, we don't.
Yeah, not according
to God. We live in Christ forever. If I can get the confession.
Yeah, but it's like trying to get you to not do work is impossible. Sometimes, you get tired. I've seen you get tired, but it's like you just keep going. Do you think that's because you have a family to support? Or
no, I don't. I mean, I was always like, when I started comedy, I wrote like a new 5 minutes every week. And none of them were like great, but I just thought that was unfair to the guy who was running the gigs.
To do the same 5?
I mean, in hindsight, he probably wanted me to be good.
Right. More than new.
Yeah, but I was really disgusted when people would do the same material over and
over. Same. In Korea, I thought that. I was like, look at these plebs doing.
Yeah, I can do something new every time.
Yeah, I can bomb with different jokes constantly.
It's... how would you formulate that in a question?
About you? Where does it come from? What do you have like a thing you think of? Is there like a perspective? Because basically I'm also just like, we're friends and you know that I'm like stuck all the time. I don't know that I feel as stuck now. I feel like
I think anytime we talk,
we put the mic a little closer to your mouth because
anytime we have a chat on the phone or you come over here after a gig, you say like 8 things that could be great material.
Yeah.
And I don't think you are a good judge of what you think is going to be interesting for other people.
Yeah, that's true. I'm like, dicks. They love the dicks.
No, but like people are actually beautiful and strange, and you're a really smart, interesting person. And things that just occur to you are fascinating. And I remember we would, Ruby would come over and my wife, and we'd sit here.
Ruby Setnick. Or our
sweet
beloved
Ruby Setnick. Yeah. But you'd say like thing after thing where it's like, that's a bit. And every week you've got, 15 fabulously exciting things. And they're really exciting to hear. And I think they're just thoughts to you and the things that happen. But that is a big part of the work of being a comedian, is bridging the gap between things that occur to you that are going to work as comedy and recognizing that they're going to work as comedy and putting them in a notebook and making that coherent to an audience.
Yeah.
And that's like so but you don't want for that at all. You don't lack any interesting insights.
What you mean? I don't lack them. Is that what you said, or I don't like?
You don't lack them. You've got so many interesting insights about the world and stories and things that you remember.
I think it's like, so I started writing more. I think it's that my opinions. It's like I was writing today about how, I don't know, like I get so irritated about stuff with gender because it's like people trying to get away from being a woman, but also like using the word woman to describe these like charities. Some of them are like women's, and I'm just like, because I hear all these people, they're younger, and they're like, and I'm around people who I really like, and they're talking about like, settler colonialism in the West, and I'm like, have you been to like India? Like, have you ever been, and of course a colonial power, but it's like, have you been to places where women are actually treated? Have you been to a Muslim country? Have you been to places?
Right, we're too nice to women in this country.
Well, my point is just like, you don't know what the fuck. Yeah, you know what? Don't invade. We shouldn't invade other countries. And over here, you know what we should have is just women with no. We shouldn't be able to drive here either. We should be like Saudi Arabia was forever, or Afghanistan is now. Let's just fuck the West, you know. Like, but it's like, so it's like, are these things funny? Like I told you, you know, you have a bit about Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah.
About bride kidnapping. My roommate, and when you came up with it, I was like, that's crazy. My roommate in Korea was in the Peace Corps, and she was kidnapped because they thought that she was Kyrgyz, because a lot of Kyrgyz look Russian, and she looks Russian. And so she was...
corrected me while doing the bit because I was saying Kyrgyzstani.
Right, and it's Kyrgyz, yeah.
Yeah, but again, I think it's important to get that wrong.
Right, sure. But I think, she was telling me how, like, they organized this conference against bride kidnapping, the Peace Corps with all these young women in Kyrgyzstan, and they thought they were doing this great thing, and then they get to the capital, which I'll never know the name of, and the women who were opposing it were all the tribal leaders who were like, yeah, we were raped, that's just how it is, you know. And so, but to me, it's like, it's so interesting how little people know about the world and how big their opinions are. But like, I've been out in the world, and I hear these people, and I'm like, you're so dumb. But I don't know if any of that's interesting.
I think it's easy to make opinions be really big. It's very hard to make. It's easy. Sorry, to make an opinion be big is easy because you just have to turn up the volume on it and take out the nuance.
Yeah.
But to suffer for something is really hard.
To suffer for something meaning?
To suffer for anything. To suffer for your work, to suffer for your family, to suffer for a cause, to suffer for a value that you have.
I just don't know what to talk about. I'm like, do I aggregate my experiences and have these opinions about like American women?
I mean, we'll get to the bit where I'm nice in a moment. But
yeah.
I think that's also because you're still looking... You treat comedy therapeutically.
Yeah, I do.
And it's very important to you. And it's important not to lose sight of this with comedy. I don't want to be a fucking wanker about it. But like... you've had great bits that you've stopped doing because you go, it doesn't do it for me.
Like which one? Like the Rosa Parks thing?
Yeah.
It's not that. It's just I can't figure out how to make it work. So the joke is that when my mom died, they cast me as Rosa Parks to make me feel better. And the school play, they were like, she can be
You're
black.
not black.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Yeah. I think I should bring it back. I do think that's a fun thing.
Give it a go. But when I'm on stage and I'm talking to the crowd, Jerry Seinfeld talks about this, and I felt very seen when he said it, but it's like, I'd say anything to get a laugh out of these people. I would step on an innocent throat.
Is that what he said?
Whatever he said, but it's like, there's no... I think it's like his wife sees his comedy and goes, I didn't really like when you said that about me. And he's like, oh, I love you so much. There's no pain I wouldn't inflict on you to get a laugh out of that audience.
Well, look, one of my cousins is like disabled, and one of my favorite jokes right now.
This is not saying just attack every disabled person you know to get a laugh.
Well, no, one of my favorite jokes right now is I use the word retarded, like right, and I know it hurts them. I know it hurts, the parents, like not, and they told me, and and at the same time, my cousin told me like, don't ever stop doing anything because of me or our family, but I am like, well, you said that, so I'm just gonna use the word because it's not about him. It's not. The joke's not about their son. It's about
the word retarded,
right?
And people in Texas being retarded.
Yes, that's exactly because you've heard the joke.
That's also word that means slow, which I enjoy saying all the time.
Well, I've started saying it, and I know that it's different from. I guess I just anyway.
But I want to get the fundamental thing is like, is comedy for oneself or the audience? And if it's all for the audience, you're a hack.
Right.
And if it's all for you, you're a failure.
Yeah. That's such a good way to think of it, yeah.
So it has to be a middle path. And there are ways to err on both sides, but there are people who are really good, but they never quite fulfill their potential. And there are people who do better than potentially they should.
Right, because they're so hack.
They got a little hack in them.
Yeah.
It's not the full hacks are fine.
Yeah.
I think they're mentally pretty comfortable,
right?
Because it was never a feeling. It would be like me feeling like a hack doing filling out a form if I worked for the tax bureau.
Right, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, he's just here for the money. It's like, yeah. I check out and I think about other stuff when this is over.
Yes.
That's not a problem.
Right.
It's someone who has the soul and the heart of a comic. This is who I find is very, very depressed in comedies. People who have the heart and soul, and they could be a great comic. And then they take a couple of shortcuts, and then the audience loves the shortcuts they're taking, but they don't really believe in them.
Right.
And then I've spoken to Eddie Bannon about this. Is an Eddie Bannon insight that I have seen over and over again. These men, possibly women, mostly men, who've got to do cocaine to get their self-esteem up to where the audience thinks it should be.
Right.
Afterwards, there's a discrepancy between how good they're meant to feel, because the audience is telling them to feel really good, but they know the work they're doing is hacky bullshit, and coke takes them up to...
Makes them feel like a god.
Well, people are treating them like a god, and they know that they're just doing a silly trick, and they've got to take the drug to get them up to feeling like a god level.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't seem nice to me. To have to be a cokehead to feel better about myself because my work is shit.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Well, I think you're right.
Not a problem you have.
No. Well, I think to me it's just like, even with writing, when I was younger, I used to write a blog when I was in Korea.
Yeah.
And it was good. I read back over it and I'm like, wow, I was honest and I described stuff and I was talking about loneliness, but about the culture, and it wasn't so self-involved. I was talking about how it felt, but it wasn't and sometimes I feel like I'll never get out of it. It wasn't any of that. But now I think what happened is it started to kind of spread.
Yeah.
And I ran into someone who was a kind of cousin of a cousin in Grand Central in the train station when I was back.
Beautiful train station.
It is beautiful. When I was visiting my family while I was living in Korea. And I'd been writing this stuff for I thought a few people. And I realized that it had spread a little bit bigger. And I didn't even really recognize this guy. And he must have seen me. And he's so weird. He went, Eve. And he got really close to my face. I didn't even know who he was at first. Yeah. Just a man right here. And he's like, what happened with this thing? And he started really talking about intimate things that I'd put in the blog. And I couldn't really write after that because it just really and I mean, you must feel this in different ways with now being recognized and people. But having somebody know me so personally, I think it was because I didn't realize I was sharing it. I thought I was sharing it with my dad, my brother, a couple cousins.
But it was actually out there for everybody.
Yeah. And it made it really hard. It made it so that I was aware of other people's reactions. The same thing happened when I went to Australia. There's this, now it's this is such a trend, but on Facebook, there was that Adele song, Hello. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Hello.
Yeah, and then she gets really dramatic. It's such a sweet song, and then she's and it's crazy. And I was feeling kind of nutty. I was in my room. I was new in Australia. I was new in stand-up, and I was I had all this random makeup that I had from Korea still, and I put it all on.
Were you an e-girl?
No, I drew I don't even remember, but I had blue eyeliner that I put on as lipstick and whatever, and then lip sync the song.
You had your gay moment in the juicy snooze.
Yeah, exactly. But then the part where she's hello from, because she goes from being so sweet to being hello from crazy. Yeah. And I did this insane video thinking a couple people, and it got so many comments this is amazing, I want to see more. But it freaked me out and I made it private. I never did it again. And now people,
see this video?
Yeah, I'll show you.
Is it on Instagram?
No, it's on Facebook. I think hidden. I'll find it.
Views?
I mean, it was it was before they even I don't think they even had counts or whatever. It was 2016.
How many comments were you getting?
I mean, I got I must have gotten 10 or 20 really quickly.
Yeah.
And I got messages and people being this is, and I sent it to my, I really did it for my nephew who was 6. I thought it'd be funny. And then I threw it on Facebook and it was just I don't know. It was just kind of unhinged. Well. Yeah, but it did well. And I just didn't expect. There's something weird. I want to be. I love being on stage. I love doing well. You fear
success.
I really fear success because there's something I love about being anonymous. Even when we were at HEB and people recognized you.
Yeah.
I think about that. I think about that all the time. What it's like to be at the bookstore because I cry everywhere. Well,
you're a woman, so there's an easier path for you around this.
What's
which
that?
Is stage makeup.
What, like just like have a different look, you mean?
If I met Lady Gaga or Chapel Roan,
you wouldn't recognize them?
No. And it's weird. For a long time I thought Lady Gaga didn't have a face. It's like, there's so many Lady Gagas. You go, like, if I see Lady Gaga, what is Lady? You sit back and you think, what does Lady Gaga look like?
Yeah, I mean, I know what she looks like because I've seen the documentary about her.
Right, but the documentary is like, oh, she's big nosed, skinny Italian.
Yeah, but blonde maybe.
She looks different
all the time.
Chapel Roan. When I go back and watch the early Chapel Roan, it's like it's a whole different human being. She's got the vampy drag makeup.
Right.
I think just wear makeup on stage.
Yeah, I don't know that I can. So, like in that video,
I have planned when I disappear from comedy. I don't want people to know who I am because this has all been very quick and very strange. And it could also disappear, and maybe people just won't give a shit about me, and that would be nice too. It would be devastating financially. It would be nice too.
Like, would it be? Yeah.
I know how I'm going to change my look.
Yeah, you told me, and we talked about this in front of your son.
Yeah.
And he burst out crying.
Yeah.
Because he was like, "No, I don't want you to change."
I shave this beard, people. I go to the club. There's a couple times where I've shaved my beard and gone to the club.
Yeah.
People who I've known for months and years
and
worked with every day have no idea who I am. They go, "Oh,
that's great. Oh,
who
is that?" Okay. All right. Now you can tell me what you're jealous of in me. The time has come.
So it's been a great, but no, I'm jealous that you can keep track of money.
What?
I'm jealous.
I can only keep track of it when I go, "James, you owe me $25.
She hasn't let me. Is that the exact amount that I owe you right now?
24. Well, I mean.
But you think you. I don't know that I would treat money the way that you do, and with other people. But you have a sense of what things are worth and what's coming in and coming out, and what is reasonable to let go and what should be paid attention to. And I don't have that. Mm-hmm. And sometimes Eve exploits me around then. But,
that is such a lie.
No, I want to be gracious about it. I think this is what so many Jews can do that the goy struggle with, is that when we think about money, I won't say it in racial. There are some people who can think about money just in like a cold sense, like it's a number.
Yeah.
And that was what the number was, and that's what the number needs to be now.
Right.
And then some people think about money, and a lot of feelings get involved.
Yeah.
And it becomes very strange and foggy and anxious. And just be able to go like, I don't know if people know what I'm saying, but I don't have that, and I wish I had that. And then you can dispense with it and be charitable when you want to be.
Right.
You know? But to be just in a constant haze about how much money is there and who do I owe what?
Yeah,
when's that coming up? I'm a big the sooner I have an accountant, the better.
I get that.
I've got some accountants already. I've got someone doing my taxes, but like a day-to-day account. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just I can't do that. I'm starting at the low end, and I'm going to build up to the really nice things.
Oh, okay.
That's not one of the top things.
Yes, I'm like, wow, James really like respects my ability I mean, because the irony, of course, is that I've never been in so much debt in my life, but
you have no money.
Yeah,
What's
but
one of the perverse realities?
I'm so aware of exactly how much I don't have.
I mean,
the interest rates I'm paying. Yeah.
I remember sitting in a taxi and watching the number click up and going, "You're going to destroy me if we get stuck in traffic."
What's funny to me about it is like I was recently when I did my taxes for 2023, 4. I don't know. We just did them. 2024. Oh yeah, I had to go through my old credit card statements, but some of it was from.
I had
to look at my but some of it I looked at 2023 as well when I went to Edinburgh, and when I started to max out my credit card, and I was like, wow, I'm literally paying for coffee I had in Berlin in like October, September 2023, I'm like when I was
like, that's a $25 coffee 4 years later.
I mean, really, And it's like, because I was like, I just deserve it. I need this. I'm suffering. I had a show in Edinburgh about my mother dying, And then years later, I'm like, I haven't paid for that yet. Like, technically, I will pay for it. It'll be... Say again?
You're going to get to it.
I've started taking better. I've started getting my finances in order.
Well, if people go and pay attention to this podcast, they're already here. I don't have to sell it.
You can Venmo me. It's at Eve-Ellenbogen. You can feel free. No, dash, not underscore.
Dash.
Yeah, mine is
M
Eve
dash or N dash?
Eve dash.
Big a dash. There's a little dash.
Little dash, yeah.
Little dash, yeah.
The one that's next to the 0 key, I think. Eve. Oh, it's right here on my calendar. Yeah, 0. Of course I know what it is. Eve-Ellenbogen. That's my Venmo.
Don't waste your time with less than $50.
See, you're good with money.
No, I'm good with sales pitches. I'm much better at sales than I am at finance.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 100 things. I think you have a really good sense of, and this one will sound like a dig. I'll get to ones that don't sound like a dig.
I love those too, though.
I don't think you have it calibrated. I don't see you get to the point of having a breakdown very often, but I don't see my breakdowns coming.
Right.
Like, I will say yes to things. I don't know what time it is now. I said yes to this pod.
Oh my God, it's 2 a.m.
Right, exactly. So I didn't, I wanted to have an early night.
Yeah.
But I will say yes very impulsively, and then do something badly or be flaky and say, oh, I actually can't do that anymore. I think you have a real sense of what your capacities, of what you think your capacity is, which I think is less than what your capacity actually. I think you can push more. Yeah. But you have a framework of what you can say yes to and what you can't. And when you do say yes to anything, you can hold to it. Because I'm meant to be here on this day. I'm going to have done that the night before. This is going to be very hard for me in the afternoon. So yes or no, I can do it. And you can think about it and you can process it. And you have a sense of where you'll be at. And there's a constancy to that really eludes me.
Oh.
And I just, you know when to say no, and you're able to say no, and you can look people in the eye and you can really go, I can't do that, and here's why.
Yeah.
And you don't feel embarrassed about that. You have almost no sense of and this is great.
Yeah.
But you go I don't want to say self-important because that means something else, but you recognize your human dignity and are able to not have demands on you that will exceed that or lead you to resentment.
Thanks.
And I wish I had a scrap of that because I go the other. I just go too much and then I resent and then I drop out of things and then I'm a problem and then I can't do things I really want to do. And you have a sense that you know what you think you can do. What you think you can do, you can do. And then you were able to do it.
And by the way,
you're not ashamed about it.
And that's why I asked you for more money when I'm helping you guys out, because I was thinking I'm going to end up being there longer. It's going to be a lot more work. And I'm going to be exhausted.
Yes.
And if I
ask for more money.
And if I say yes to this and I feel like I should be getting more money, I will feel resentment.
Yeah.
And if I feel like, you know what?
I'd rather pay you the more money.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be resentful for that amount of money? No, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good, and that.
And I think you'll feel really good about my involvement, like in the way that I help your family.
Oh, fuck. I'm so relieved that you're doing it.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, I don't want to exploit you, but I think $1,000 a day is fine.
You could have squeezed more out of me.
Probably.
You chose not to.
I probably could have squeezed more.
And you know that by not squeezing money out of me there, I'll take you on the road and you'll get more money in the future.
Well, that was the thing. I was like, I don't want to exploit you, but I just wanted to get what I felt was fair.
And you do have a sense of fairness.
Yeah. I love this. I should do this more. Yeah. Why did I ever stop this podcast?
You've brought it back.
Yeah.
I wonder if people just say the same things over and over.
No, this is so specific. No one's ever said these things to me before. I felt very seen.
Well, I mean, I don't want them all to be. I feel like I said a lot of nice things during the pod.
That's true.
That I don't want to rehash.
Yeah, if you're maxed out.
But but some of them are nice things that I think. There are nice things. There can be virtues that a person possesses that block them off in other ways.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have some of those too. And I think, you have this thing about not being as successful as you'd like to be.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of people think that you're not as successful as you should be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think some of that is, and I've said this over and over again, and this will be a virtuous, nice thing to say that I'm jealous of. But when you're in a room with really, I'll start with the dig. When you're in a room with people at your level,
mm-hmm. like the middling, whatever,
middling people and people who do a lot of open mics, you don't always ingratiate yourself.
No,
you can be quite rude.
I can be I don't mean to be a bitch, but I just am.
Yes. I've seen you with really top level successful people,
mm-hmm.
and they love you, and you hold yourself. Sometimes when I'm in a room with really successful people, I lose my sense of personality.
I get that.
There's a charisma there. There's like, can this person do something for me? There's I've seen you on all these things before, and you don't have any of that. You mingle with the top level of people incredibly well, and they're charmed by it, and you're not like out to get anything out of them, and they can sense that, and you're very comfortable disagreeing with successful people.
It's really weird, isn't it?
And I've said this about you before to you,
mm-hmm. and
I reiterate it for the however many people are watching.
Yeah.
I think you'll be fine like a lot of people get to the top and freak out and fuck it up and it's gone. And I think you could get to the top and be there forever. I think you'll be really comfortable as a rich person at the top, doing great. It's the getting there. I have no question that you on top, that you could hack it, first of all, and do the work, and also not go crazy and have everything in proportion. But actually getting to that point is you're a good argument for the aristocracy. If you had just been born into the top of doing comedy, you'd be fine, and you'd do great stuff, and you'd be very comfortable there. But actually moving up into that level is a different skill set to being at that level. And you bizarrely have the skill set of being at the top, but you're not. You're down here in my living room at 2 a.m.
Well, I don't know if your living room is down here, because I
I have an upstairs I'd like to be in bed in.
Yeah. But Ruby said to me the other day, we were talking.
Ruby Setnick,
who's so fucking funny.
You keep saying this, I'm getting a water.
But Ruby said to me the other day, she was talking about she was like, I bet that James, because I didn't actually even ask you. I asked you to come on the podcast, but I didn't really ask you for help with it. And then you volunteered to help, which was really great. But she was like, I bet that James would help you with like your podcast or whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, maybe. And she was like, I don't think you realize how unusual it is to have a friend in the position that James is in right now. And I was like, oh yeah. Well, where you're like doing really great, and you're like you just got on Rogan. You were just on Rogan recently. Your career's going pretty well. I know you don't feel like
how weird I feel to have a friend who's Joe Rogan.
Yeah, he called you today. You went and did a show. You just had
a great chat.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very weird.
Exactly. So it's like, and I know that.
But also, I think you would do better on Rogan than me. Because I'm on Rogan going, fuck, there's a million people watching.
I know I would do so well on Rogan. Better than I did on Kill Tony. Because on Kill Tony, it's like, you're in the room.
I think as a panelist on Kill Tony, you would destroy.
Maybe.
You'd do great.
I think, thank
you. Telling other people what's wrong with their comedy, you would thrive.
I totally. So that's actually one of the times I realized, so, I'm mean. I mean, you know that about me. Yeah. But not like from my heart, just like I can be mean or cutting. And I didn't know I was mean or that it was funny when I was mean until this one day at, what's that show called in Melbourne? It's like up, because of the V.
There's something ever so slightly wrong with the way you say Melbourne. It's so much closer than most Americans, but it's ever so slightly incorrect. I don't know the room in Melbourne, but I want to say, I want to say other nice. I want to say more straightforward nice things.
Okay. So basically the thing was that I was
really smart.
I was really mean to somebody, and it was funny.
Does read. I believe it.
I do read.
Believe it. And not a lot of people in our business can read and think about things, and you can have a conversation with them about. I never feel like I have to dumb anything down for you.
Thanks.
And that sounds like a wanky, highfalutin.
No, you're very smart.
No, you just like sometimes I remember working in commercial radio with some of the dumbest people. And of course, there are great, very intelligent people who work there too. And if you're watching this, I'm talking about you when I say wonderful, smart, intelligent people. But a lot of real fucking retards and bona fide disability parking should be type cunt operators. Sorry.
That's the clip.
The dumbest people. And the only reason I'm angry with them for being dumb is that they think they're smart and they're in charge of the media. And then they're like, it has to be relatable. And it's like, what you're saying is it has to be dumb enough for you personally because you think that you're smart. And so it has to be dumber than what you can take. But you're actually a fucking cretin. And you want it at a level that no one's gone along with. And this is why podcasts, long form, this is why Joe Rogan's so successful, is people told tradies that they just had to be interested in like football and hitting their head, and shit. And actually like they want to talk about quantum physics. Yeah. There are really smart people everywhere and the lowest common denominator is not, pushing bugs up your nose. Right. I think about that term lowest common denominator all the time. And it's like some of these things, the things that people call lowest common denominator are too dumb to commonly denominate. Right, exactly. Because not everyone can get into that because it's too fucking dumb. Yeah. And in the best possible way, these podcasts that are blowing up now are the lowest common denominator. Because like, what does that mean to be a common denominator? It means no matter how smart you are, you can still get something out of it. Right. No matter how dumb you are, that's what the work is supposed to be. Excuse me, I don't know why I got into that.
I love that though.
But I just, you're a curious, thoughtful. Take back thoughtful. You're a curious person, and you're really intelligent. You're not ashamed of that, and to just, I don't feel when I'm here with you talking, I don't feel like I'm expending energy,
being stupid with somebody.
I wanted you to move in with me when I came to Austin and look after the kids, and you wouldn't do it, and that's a nice way that you could, because you were like, I've got to have my own life to be happy. You knew what you needed. Yeah. And we needed the fucking help, and I think you're great with everybody. But, and you were right to do it, I don't mind that. But it's like, I think I could have had you do that, and it would have been okay for us. Is because you're very easy to have around, and that's not true. A lot of people, it takes energy to be with them, and I actually feel in many ways more energetic after we've hung out because I haven't had to put on a weird mask or anything.
Thanks, James.
I'm going to say a couple more fucking nice things. You're not done yet. You're not fucking done yet. No,
but I also feel that way too, where I don't feel depleted when I leave. Even though you guys have like a whole family. Sometimes if the kids are having a hard time.
It's a lot here.
You know what I mean? But I feel like with talking to you and Tay, your wife, who I also love, thank God. I mean, it was so funny when you first got here and you were like foisting. I didn't get it because I don't think I've had a lot of married friends. Yeah. I didn't get why it's so important for me to be friends with your wife, but I'm lucky that I actually genuinely love your wife. I think we're both, like that's probably the basis of why we can all be friends, me, you, and Ruby.
Yes.
Because the three of us are, me, Ruby, and Tay are friends, and then also you as well.
I think I'm one of the only men. I'm not. This is like a problem for me socially. Mm-hmm. Is that to have close friends who are a woman as a man?
I know.
Looks like I'm fucking them in Austin because it just doesn't happen, or that I'm gay.
Right.
Those are really the two avenues in a bro-y scene. Often to have close friends who are women. Right. Among some fellas. But it's like, but I just enjoy. It just so happens that I enjoy both of your company.
Yeah. It's funny. I mean, it's like, I think I heard some...
I'm not fucking either of them.
Yeah, never.
Well, no, probably never.
I heard someone made a joke once about, like, me. I told you about me and you or something like that. Not on stage or anything.
Oh, no, yeah.
But a comment. And I was like...
It's a very chatty, gossipy, yeah.
Well, I was livid. Because people always... It's like... And it was based in, like, you doing well and then me hanging out with you. It's like...
Oh, yeah.
I fucking knew this guy in Australia when we're arguing.
He was on the Staten Island ferry, stinking it up. He couldn't afford a shirt.
It's just so funny how people.
You wanted me for the money I was gonna have.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and if you're banking on a horse, it's not like. Or betting on her. It's not it's not like who could ever imagine. Like in retrospect, of course it makes sense. It's like, yeah, this person horses don't stop, they keep going. That's a famous
horses don't. I named a two of that and then did the joke once.
Yeah, I actually saw. I was showing somebody your clips the other day, and then I saw that and I was like, oh, that's so funny. You like let that joke die.
It wasn't working.
No, it was a funny joke though, I thought. But yeah, I don't know. People said that to me in New York too. I would get booked for something, and someone was like, somebody who'd been doing stand-up for like 3 years, and I've been doing it for so much longer. Yeah. He was like, must be nice to just have big tits. I was like, maybe you should just be funnier. Maybe it's not about, they don't, like, it's just crazy how quickly you can get reduced to nothing because somebody else isn't friends with James McCann or isn't getting booked for this show. It's like, right, I'm just like tits and a mouth or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, but whatever. It's all right. If anything, it's like the reason you're hanging out with me was so that I could babysit for your kids more than anything.
It's starting to pay off.
What'd you say?
It's starting to pay off. It was a long road.
Yeah, well, I'm about to. That's true. I'm about to babysit for your kids, and I'm about to go on the road with you.
I think also, I mean, you were recommended to me by the Manarinos.
Yes.
Who are not the Manarinos because they're not married and they don't share a last name.
What's her last name?
Wills.
Oh God, I'm so bad with names.
Sweet Carla Wills.
Carla. I love Carla.
They said we love Eve, and I would trust them on anything. They said you got to go and see Eve. They
are such solid people. She and I had such a like.
Wait, how long have we been going?
We've been going for an hour and 45
Oh,
minutes.
we have to call it.
We have to end. Okay.
We have to call. I can't focus with my eyes on it.
Do you feel? Have you said everything?
It's 3 a.m. No, there's so much more to say. But we'll also just do a bunch of other. You'll come on my podcast in the future.
This is
the James Donald Falls McCann Catamaran Plan. Disquieting Levels of Egg. New book of poems. Black Israelite. New comedy special. Working on the clown joke. If you'd like to invest in that, get in touch.
Can I just say
another $150,000
for anybody who doesn't know James, buy the book of poems. Like, just
the poem's going all right.
Yeah, watch the special. Like, do anything. Like, you're so. I mean, you're so great, James. Genuinely,
you're so great.
I think
I shouldn't have had that I've had half a bottle of wine.
I don't want to. I shouldn't say this because...
I had that whiskey at the club. That was a fucking mistake.
I shouldn't say this because it's probably disrespectful to my past guests, but... And also, it's not a fair bar to set for my future guests. But you are for sure my favorite guest thus far.
You'll have Ruby on and she'll be great. Are you going to have Ruby on?
Yes, I'm going to have Ruby on. She said she's going to be on.
Well,
bang,
you
bang, bang.
Come to California.
And then, we were going to do it over the phone, I think. But not the same.
No, do it in the flesh in California.
Oh, yeah. I might see her in L.A.
Do it in L.A.
I'm actually going to get a slew of people who you would not expect for me to have on this podcast.
I bet I would.
Yeah, but I think you... Well, I'll tell you after. Because I'm not sure if they're locked down yet. Don't want to edit it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
I think I'm going to have to vomit.
I'll if James pukes, I'll record it. Come back again. Bye.